Hi everyone, Sounouvou here. I'm the founder and CEO of Exportunity and also the show director for the US African Virtual Semi Show. Today, under the request of many of our exhibitors, we decided to make a quick video with Mr. Hamet Aguemon.
Hi, good morning.
Hey Hamet, thank you for joining us. Hamet is an investment banker, but most of all, he's an investor at Exportunity and one of our main shareholders and also a board member. I've personally been blessed to know Hamet for a few years now and benefit from a lot of advices from him in terms of the company. And today I felt that it would be really good for many of you who are watching us today, young entrepreneurs from Africa and also some starters from the US to benefit from his experiences. So Hamet, please, can you tell us a little bit about your background? I know you're from Benin and today we're in Seychelles and you're talking about you being an investment banker. How did it happen? What's your background?
Well, between the two, there's probably about 19 years. But briefly, I started my career in London as an investment banker, more specifically on the energy trading side. Then I went to do my MBA in the US. I came back, worked for Goldman Sachs for a few years, expanding the operations in Africa. Then I joined VTB Capital in Dubai to as a director and head of Africa to look at the investment in sub-Saharan Africa again. So over that period, I've done for about 5 billion US dollars in investments across the region. So yes, that will be my short career so far until I decided in January 2014 to become a full-time entrepreneur.
Wow. And of course, I mean, personally, I will never stop being impressed by your background, as I always tell you. Hamet, your journey as an entrepreneur, I know that even before being a full-time entrepreneur, you've been involved in many really major deals, as you were saying, over $5 billion deals. What is your journey as an entrepreneur today?
It's a tough one. Let me tell it out there. Being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing, but it's something that you you must love and have passion for. For me, I've Africa is what I breathe, what I know, what I eat every day. So the struggle is just a learning curve to achieve the goals that I've set to myself. So I mean, today, thank God, things are falling into place, and I'm and the team I work with are very pleased for the decision we've made.
Hamed, one of the things that I know about you is that you really passionate about helping African governments and African companies get access to finances. With AI Opportunity, we've been really blessed to have you with us, so far. And also, your necklace, shows your attachment to Africa. I've been seeing it with you for a few years, so it really shows how much you love the continent. But you also have some background in the U.S. You studied at Wharton School, and it's one of the best business schools in the world, as I do know. So please, as somebody who has an business experience between the U.S. and also Africa, which we're dear to, tell us what is the potential in terms of trade, in terms of business between the United States and Africa in today's context.
Well, I think not only between the United States and Africa, but between the rest of the world and Africa, nobody can actually afford today, especially with the competitive nature of business and everything. Nobody can afford to overlook the continent today. They call us the last frontier, the last market. I mean, for me, Africa has always been the first market, but nobody can afford, in the way of globalization that we're experiencing today, nobody can afford to overlook Africa at all. And we've seen the US take a few initiatives towards that end. The Obama tour of few countries in Africa recently, the Power Africa project, which shows a clear U.S. intent to get involved with the, let's say, with the pie sharing, of the continent. When you look at the continent today, you look at various governments, you look at how business is being done. So the major trade partner is China. China going viral across sectors in the region. You have India also, who's been there for a long time. The West, need. And this is not. I'm not trying to point fingers or anything, but they need to realize that we have grown. We have grown as African, and if you want to come and do business, there is a certain way to do that business, and that the past relationship that we used to have are no longer maintained today. So, I believe they understand that, and not specifically the U.S. because obviously U.S. has not been a colonial power, if you want, but the West in general. You see Russian as well, getting more and more involved in Africa. I worked with VT. I was head of Africa for VTB Capital for 2 years, and the U.S. rightly so are trying to get involved. Promote sustainable development and become one of the major partner to unleash, if you want, Africa's potential.
Yeah.
So to that effect, I believe that the timing of exporting is actually massive, because having a good idea is very good, but the timing must be right. Yeah. And which I guess is one of the reasons why I'm also an investor in opportunity, because I believe in the potential. When you look at the potential, the size of investment that can be done between the U.S. And Africa, but more importantly for Africa, the sharing of the technology, the know-how into various aspects of our day-to-day life. It's a win-win situation from as much as African SMEs will have so much to learn from the U.S. counterpart, in terms of technology, best practices, and everything. U.S. SMEs and the U.S. in general can leverage that know-how and benefit from substantial and decent returns.
And, just to go in your direction, opportunities, mission, to be a gateway, to allow American, SMEs and African SMEs to connect together. I remember the U.S. Department of State and the White House rewarded us a lot, by inviting us. We were the only private company at the U.S., the AGOA Ministry at the World Bank, with 47 African ministers, and the U.S. Department of State endorsed this opportunity in front of those ministers. And I remember we were on NPR and we were saying the same message, because Africa and America have a lot to learn together. I remember all these young entrepreneurs I met in Texas, in Maryland, who wanted to just partner with African entrepreneurs, and today, you're certainly right saying, the opportunity is right there. And the other thing that I want to point out is that the U.S. has been doing a lot of effort, to support African entrepreneurs, especially the Yale program, and also President Obama is going to be in Kenya for the Global Entrepreneurship Week, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit that's going to happen in Kenya. So, the U.S. is really pushing out there. So, Hamet, one of the things that I really think is important as well, that we need to share with, you need to share with the young entrepreneurs who are listening to us right there. Seeing your background, what would be your advice? I've seen that, in all the things, the key things that we decided as opportunities, the mobility, we've been moving around a lot, people seeing us there and there, and, the support from the shareholders. By the way, thank you for being there as well to support, what we're doing here in Seychelles. What would be your advice to African SMEs, first in terms of the importance of mobility, mobility not only traveling physically, but also being able to reach out to a big network out there in different countries, and also what would be your advice in general after that side of advice to the young entrepreneurs listening to us?
The world today is, through technology, is becoming closer and closer and closer. And it's very, very important for SMEs today, and I can see it myself as a young entrepreneur, the value of network, and not network now from not just a network between Beninese entrepreneur in Cotonou with the Chamber of Commerce in Benin, but you need to have a global network. You need to be able to reach out to your suppliers in China, to your counterpart in Texas, in Austin, to your purchaser in India. You need to have that global connectivity, and you need to have it instantaneous. And this is where opportunity comes in and offers that technology with a simple click, simple platform that allows you to reach out to people around the world. As African today, we cannot be, I mean, you know, we are going through a digitalization
Yeah.
of the economy.
Yeah.
And technology, the beauty of technology is it can bridge the gap very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So, as we've seen the mobile phone phenomenon in Africa, nobody around the world except in offices uses landline anymore. And that's one of the proof how technology takes you so quick into connecting different worlds. And what Exportinity does is really allowing members to connect instantaneously with China, India, Russia, US, Europe, everywhere in the world. And what does that mean? That means competitivity. With no competitivity, no sustainability for your business. And as African, we have our African programs to which we can bring African solutions. But African solution doesn't mean that you have to start it from Africa. You can look at what's been done, in other parts of the world that are similar to us who are following the same process, and then you twist it to meet your actual issues.
Yes.
We look at the Middle East, we look at Asia, we look at South America. They are all going through the similar process that we are going through now, except that they have few years in advance. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. What we have to do is to understand how they've done it and make sure we apply it correctly to our African infrastructure.
Wow, Hamet, thank you for that. One of the things I really like what you said, and also as an exporting evangelist, I'm really happy that you carrying out our tablet, which you're one of the big supporters of. And as the opportunity tablet also comes, in line to help African traders, get better access to market.
And super cheap.
Yeah, we're selling less than $100, and a tablet which has all the functionalities to allow access to trade. Hamet, I want to say one last thing, and I think it can be the closing word.
Sure.
But before that, I want to say something really important. What we do in Exportunity is really, really targeted to help young African entrepreneurs, get to bigger deals. One of the important things at Exportunity, we only focus on wholesale, producers, and we try to help them do deals which are minimum of $40,000. And we allow any young entrepreneur from Africa to come on the platform for free as a trader and resell their product and sell it all across the continent. And your background as a trader also is helping us a lot, in terms of shaping the platform. So I will invite a lot of the young entrepreneurs who are watching us today to go on exportunity.net and register as a trader. It's pretty easy. It's free to trade, and we will be inaugurating our first transaction next month, hopefully, because as you know, we're doing a lot of investment currently. So I will be closing. Hamet, thank you for your time. What would be your closing word? If you had a word to say to African entrepreneurs, what would it be?
Well, it will be a little bit more than a word,
Okay.
one word. Two things. The first thing is, there is no dreams that is too small or too big for one person. Dream as big as you want, but it's very, very important that you keep that focus of what you want to achieve. And but toward that, very importantly, there is absolutely no substitute for hard work. Any successful entrepreneur will tell you, there is no substitute for hard work. There is no shortcut. There is no back trees that will tell you how to do things. You will make mistakes. You know, you just have to stand up, look at your network, reach out to your network, and stand still. At Opportunity, we will always be there to help or provide advisors or connect you, to people in similar situation. So it's very important that you allow yourself to dream, you keep focused, and you understand that there is no substitute for hard work. After all, developing Africa is our mandate, not just the mandate of the leadership that governs our countries, the various institutions. It's the mandate for all of us. Developing Africa is our mandate. Embracing its potential is our destiny. Thank you.
You can end in a more beautiful note. Developing Africa is a mandate. Thank you, Hamet, for your
Thank
time.
you.